Hello, hello! Pete's Packs here, and we're live for our March 24th live stream. So, got a little preview of some of the shorts that we're going to be doing soon. I'm going to be recording those later today. And we have a big surprise today. We got in a package. So, I suspect that this is from Wizards. Specifically, this appears to be the Festival in a Box for Magic Fest Philadelphia. So, took a few weeks after Magic Fest for it to show up. But, get our pen out of the way. I got a box. Big old box. This thing's huge. It's so humongous. But I'm going to be opening this box. Let's see if we get anything. Anything special. Okay. I'm going to cut down this box as I go. This thing is huge. So, 1 second. Sorry about that. Had to answer the door. Hey, Panda Girl. We have something exciting today. It's a big old package. It's so big that, like, I can't even get it in frame. Oh, and I bumped the camera. Okay. Oh, well, that is silly. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure these are from MagicCon Philadelphia. Because there's 3 of them. Now, you'll notice that there are 4 boxes in here, one of which is labeled empty. So they restrict how many you can get to 3. But they put an empty box in the package. Why the heck can't you just get 4? Like, this makes less sense than being able to get 4. So, since we have boxes inside of boxes, let's pull this over. What's in the box? What's in the box? I'm excited. I'm even going to open the empty box. We're going to open the empty box first. Just in case they lied and it's not empty. Oh, and I just cut my playmat. Ooh. Ah. Now, I believe this is from MagicCon Philly, or Magic Fest Philly. Hopefully that's what it is. There is another Magic Fest package that should be showing up in a couple months, probably. Or Minneapolis? Minneapolis? Something like that. Alright. Got our big box broken down. Let's see if there's anything in the box labeled empty. Also, oddly enough, no packing list in this. Nope. Empty box. Empty box is empty. Yeah, it was a giant box. It's like 2 feet tall, 2 feet, like a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet wide. Like very, very large box. But there should be some very exciting stuff in this. There's so for Magic Fest Philly, they did an exclusive deck box and an exclusive playmat that's only in Magic Fest that you could only get by either going to Magic Fest Philly or buying this. Yep. So we will see. There's supposed to be a special Phyrexian deck box in this, and a special playmat, and then a exclusive version of OMG Kitties, which is one of the original secret layers. One of the original secret layers for well, just one of the original secret layers. But instead of being the normal version, this is the only way to get the foil version, if I remember correctly. So we will see in just a moment. Oh, so much cardboard. All right. And then there's a pair of commander decks that are supposed to be in this, which we will open up the commander decks and see what's inside. Okay, there's an envelope. What is in the envelope? Look at the kitties! Alright. Something else in here. And, oh, look at that. A special version of Arcane Signet. Oh my god. Why is my phone going off? Oh, okay. I know what that is. But I was able to get 3 of them, which is the most that they would let you do. Did anyone in these Hangout streams you have been doing, did anyone hang out with you till the end of the stream? Yeah, a couple of people. There were 1 or 2 where no one showed up, which is whatever. What is my phone doing? Okay, I am putting my phone on mute because it is just blowing up right now from something that was scheduled. So we have a Kaldheim commander deck. That's a little odd. I mean, that's not even in standard anymore. I guess they had a bunch of extras. Here's the playmat and the exclusive deck box. We will look at those closer. See, like there's another called Zendikar Rising. Yeah, these didn't do very well. I guess they just threw them in to say, hey, here's some commander decks. Hoo hoo hoo. Like, okay. Those are kind of pointless. But there's also a whole box of mystery boosters. And this is the convention edition, which is not the same as the retail edition. So there's some stuff in this that aren't in the retail version. So that's cool. You can get playtesting cards. You can get all kinds of rare and weird stuff in it. What is my phone doing? It just bidoop, bidoop. Just keeps going off. But yeah, there've been a couple of people that stayed to the end of the stream. That's the people that have come in and out. You know, it's all good. I think they would probably do better if the streams would probably do better if I was a little more focused on, you know, what, like opening packs or something like that. But people are just, oh my god, it keeps just going off. You're on silent. Why do you keep going off? Okay. That should fix the issue. Okay, let's get into this. Oh, that is cool. So this is the deck box. We have Atraxa on the front. Phyrexian writing on the back. There's some stuff on the bottom, but it's covered up by the sticker. Let's see. Illustrated by God Machine. Trademark. Wizards of the Coast LLC. Very cool. And I need to take out my trash. My trash can is starting to overflow a little bit. We have a mystery booster box. Might end up opening one of those. Maybe something important. Don't just check it. I don't want. No, it's an alert of a bunch of things that I set to happen yesterday, and it's just confirmation that they went through. I had to move some stuff around, and it's just all the confirmations that they moved. So it's all good. All right. We got another mystery booster box. Now, if anyone else managed to get one of these bundles, I am looking to get a fourth one of the Look at the Kitties packs. So I'm unendingly annoyed. Oh, I will be 35 in July. So have another Look at the Kitties, and you'll notice that this isn't a Secret Lair drop, it's a Secret Lair Roadshow edition. Fancy. Okay. And another Arcane Signet. another one of the deck boxes. Now, this is so from these boxes and going to MagicCon Philly or Magic Fest Philly were the only ways to get these deck boxes and these playmats. So they have already surged pretty heavily on the secondary market. I have seen them go for more than twice what the boxes, or like what the whole thing have been at. So that's kind of cool. We got another one of Anawan the Ruin Thief. And this one we got Ranar the Ever Watchful. So these are slightly randomized. It appears to be one from Kaldheim and one from Zendikar Rising. Which I suspect that is because the commander decks from both of those sets did not sell well. And they're just unloading extra stock. But we do get the highly sought after mystery booster boxes. Now the nice thing about these bundles, so they are time gated, and they're kind of hard to get your hands on because they sell out really quickly. When I was younger, what did I want to be when I grew up? It depends on which age. So there was a portion of time where I wanted to be a paleontologist, and a portion of time where I wanted to be an archaeologist. And then there was a little while where I wanted to be a priest. That didn't last very long. Then for a while I wanted to be a machinist, and for a little while I wanted to be a physicist. And in fact, I went to school for math and physics. But then I ended up working in computers, and that's what I do now. So it's changed a bunch. For a little while I wanted to be a chemist. It was always something sciencey. With the exception of being a priest. Like, that was more a expectation that a portion of my family had. And then I eventually learned to overcome peer pressure from dead people. So, we got our third look at the kitties, and Arcane Signet. So, yeah, now I work in computers, specifically data security and data analysis. That's what I do for the most part. I also develop software, mostly tools for other software developers. But yeah, that's what I do. And I make videos on YouTube, although I don't make any money doing this. Maybe one day. So I've discovered that I can't do like super chats or like channel membership until I break 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of a bummer. Because being able to set that up so that like I can give people access to the Discord and all of that would have been really nice to just go ahead and do. I can still do that through Patreon, but that just adds an extra step. And I can't do like channel points or anything like that until I hit monetization, which is kind of crappy. Because like I'd really like to be able to add like special emotes and stuff like that for the chat for streams. Is there going to be a stream tomorrow? Probably. I do have a bunch of errands to do tomorrow, but my morning is pretty open, so I was planning on streaming. Not sure what we'll be doing in the stream. Probably end up going through Streets of New Capenna or Phyrexia Old B1 stuff. So, but today we're going to be opening up and looking at these commander decks, looking at the playmat a little closer. It looks like we got another Anawan. We got 3 Anawan, and we got 2 Lathril, and we got 1 Ranar. So, very cool. Very, very cool. So we got those. We got our 3 mystery booster boxes that are convention edition. 3 copies of Look at the Kitties, which I am going to be looking to get a 4th one. Don't know if I'm going to open those on stream. I might open them in a Secret Lair Sunday. But we got 3 of the deck boxes. Those might end up being a giveaway for our 1,000 subscriber stream. I haven't quite decided yet. But those are very pricey at the moment. We got mystery booster boxes. I am now covered in cardboard bits. So let's see. Let's look at one of the playmats. Oh, this one's misprinted. It's double printed. Did I really get a misprinted playmat? I did. This one's double printed. I don't know if you can see that on stream or not. But the lettering on this is ghosted below it. That's cool. All right. Yep, the other one's not like that either. I got a misprinted playmat. Yeah, that's so that's clickbait. That didn't actually happen. I have seen the same article you're talking about. It's not real. There's nothing to worry about. So you got to be careful about what you believe on the internet. There's a lot of sensationalism and a lot of fear mongering because that generates clicks, which generates revenue. So if there were actually a zombie virus, then it wouldn't just be on like a website. You would hear about it everywhere. So nothing to worry about. So. And like, if it were real, I would be on top of that. Because again, part of my job working in security is managing risk and being aware of current world events. So I really keep on top of a ton of different things, to an annoying degree for my friends and family, actually. Because they're like, "Oh, did you hear about this? Yeah, I heard about it 6 months ago." Like, but and it's nothing to worry about. So we're going to put these to the side for now. Already looked at this really cool deck box. Let's see what this playmat looks like. All right. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, see, MagicCon was over a month ago now. It was February 17th through 19th, and it is now March 24th, and this came in yesterday. So that's kind of frustrating, but this thing is gorgeous. Wow. So, if anyone else got one of these sets, so you know, I am looking for the fourth Arcane Signet, even though I will never run 4 of these in a deck ever. I just like having 4 copies of things. I'm looking for a fourth Look at the Kitties. My email is in the channel description. Send me an email. We'll work something out. So you know. All right, so we've got our beautiful playmat here. Let's see if I can get the dot cam set up so that we can look at what's in these decks. So bring up the dot cam. We'll adjust the main cam a little bit. All right, document cam streaming. Hey, right on Atraxa too. Very nice. Just a little off center, but it's okay. So first off, we've got Anawan the Ruin Thief. Let's see what's in this. Now, I have other copies of this that I will open on the channel and do a standalone video, but those of you in stream, do I watch any animes? I watch tons of anime. I love anime. My favorite one that I've watched recently is Trese, which is from the Philippines, if I remember correctly. But it's on Netflix, at least in the US, and it was fantastic. It is based on Filipino folklore, and it is very beautifully animated, and it is a really interesting storyline, and I really enjoyed it. There's a few others that I've watched recently, or I'm trying to think of what else I've watched recently. I really enjoyed that one though. Beautifully animated, great storyline. And was actually written and directed by a Filipino woman. But yeah. Trying to think of what else. What's a good one I've watched lately? I defeated slimes for 300 years and now I'm max level. Was a really good one. It was funny. It's kind of a slice of life kind of anime, but it was really funny. My favorite anime of all time is Naoki Urasawa's Monster. It's really hard to get a hold of, but Netflix recently picked up the rights for some of it. Oh, that's really sweet, Panda Girl. But I'll be alright. If you need to sleep, go to sleep. So, let's see, what's in this? We have a profile of N1 the Rune Thief. Apparently this one is called Sneak Attack. And this is also where they introduced set boosters in Zendikar Rising. So this explains what's new with set boosters. Kind of wish they would stop those. The different types of boosters have gotten out of hand. But then it's got this kind of nice deck box, actually. Comes flat folded, flat packed, and you put it together like that. I like that it's purple. Purple is my favorite color, so like that's a very pretty shade of purple at that. And we've got this really cool life counter. It is double-sided. You've got 1 through 20 on one side, and then the other side is 21 through 40. So it's nice. All right. Good night, Panda Girl. Sleep well. And we'll see you in the next stream. Then we have Anna 1 the Ruin Thief. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little better. There we go. So for 2, a blue and a black, other rogues you control get +1/+1. Whenever one or more rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, the player mills a card for each damage dealt to them. If the player mills at least one creature card this way, you draw a card. That is very strong. And then we have his Commander deck. So let's see what all is in here. Now, I got to draft a lot of Zendikar Rising. I did not actually play much of Zendikar Rising Standard. So we've got Aethereyes, Distant Melody. All right, Distant Melody is a great card for Pauper. That's actually fairly hard to get a hold of. It's nice to see that's in here. Factor Fiction, very nice. Fairy Vandal. Fairy Vandal's actually back in Standard. Invisible Stalker, nice. That actually still sees a little bit of play in Legacy. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And it does have hexproof. Latchkey Fairy. Okay. Morung River Prowler. Not familiar with that one. We have Master Thief. A good way to basically a oh, what was it called? It was a fairy. It was a rare fairy back in Lorwyn, I want to say, that could steal it. That was this exact thing, except it stole a creature instead of an artifact. I can't think of the name. Military intelligence. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card. Okay, that's cool. Night Veil Sprite. A great card originally from, let's say, Ravnica Allegiance, I think it was. It was either Ravnica Allegiance or Guilds of Ravnica. It's a great surveil enabler. Open into Wonder. X-target creatures can't be blocked this turn until end of turn. Creatures gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw a card. That's pretty cool. Slitherblade, of course, can't be blocked. Frightened Shorestalker. Slightly worse version of Slitherblade. Whirler Rogue. Now this It's originally in Kaladesh, if I remember correctly. Saw a ton of play as part of the blue-red tempo artifacts deck. Good old Changeling Outcast. So it's printed in one of the Modern Horizons. So I think it was the first one. Great enabler and also the cheapest changeling in the game. Endless Obedience. So Convoke. Oh, it's a convocable. It's a convocable reanimation spell. We have Frog Tosser Banneret. Great Goblin enabler. Great Rogue enabler. Marsh Flitter. Okay. Fairy Rogue that creates goblins. It's cool. Murder. Una's Blackguard. Now, this was huge in Lorwyn as part of the Blue-Black Fairies deck. Price of Fame. So a good way of taking out a legendary creature, and it surveils. Rise from the Grave. Solid reanimation spell. It's a 5-mana reanimate. Let's see, Stink Drinker Bandit. Prowl Rogue. Sir Conrad the Grim. Big thing from what was it? Throne of Eldraine. We have Zulaport Cutthroat, which is actually a hugely useful trainer. It's an Aristocrats enabler. It's actually still played in Aristocrats. Extract from Darkness, Soul Manipulation. Nice. Counter and get back a creature. Neat. Good old Arcane Signet. It's a staple in Commander. Same with Commander's Sphere. Enigma Thief. Let's see, it's a Sphinx Rogue with Prowl. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, return up to one target non-land permanent that player controls to its owner's hands. Okay, so cheap Prowl way to bounce stuff. One sec. Okay, Whisper Steel Dagger. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a creature spell from that player's graveyard this turn, and you spend mana or mana of any color to cast that. Wow, that's kind of cool. Good old Notorious Throng. This was a huge enabler for fairy decks back in Lorwyn and Eventide. It was a way of it lets you take an extra turn off the Prowl, which is really strong. Scourge of the Fleets. Okay, lets you bounce a bunch of stuff. Stolen Identity. It's a cipher that copies creatures and artifacts. Fated Return. Target creature from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control. It gains indestructible. If it's your turn, scry 2. Okay. Good old Gonti, Lord of Luxury. This was used a ton in Kaladesh to basically take threats from your opponent's deck. And Garrick's Wake. Okay, huge sweeper. Or one-sided sweeper, rather. Destroys all your opponent's stuff, but not your stuff. Then Necromantic Selection, combination of Board Wipe and Reanimate. Night Howler. Okay, gets huge. And has Bestow. Very nice. Ogre Slumlord. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may create a 1/1 black rat creature token. Rats you control have Death Touch. So it's a Rat Lord. Okay. Sepulchral Primordial. When it comes into play for each opponent, you may put up to one target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Nice. Consuming Abjuration, or Aberration, rather. Power and toughness equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. When you cast a spell, each opponent reveals the top card of their library until they reveal a land card and mills those cards. Wow. That's cool. Good old Lazav. lets you make, or lets it become copies of creatures in your opponent's graveyard, and has hexproof. Good old Notion Thief. Great hoser for things. A little surprised that's even in here. Una, Queen of the Fae. Wow. She used to be a huge commander for blue-black. I don't know if she gets played anymore, but you can mill your opponent. You can mill cards from your opponent's deck with her. You can just mill out opponents with her. She's really powerful. Silumgar's Command, one of the blue-black command from Dragons of Tarkir. Spinal Embrace. To steal a creature in combat. And good old Sig, River Cutthroat. Man, there's a lot of really good commander stuff in here. Beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, you may draw a card. Nice. Oh, Blackblade Reforged. Just huge thing huge equipment for legendary creatures. Bone Horde, Living Weapon. Equal to creature cards in all graveyards. Obelisk of Erd. See, this has Convoke. I didn't even know you could have Convoke on artifacts. When it comes into play, you choose a creature type, and then it's an Anthem to give +2/+2 of the chosen creature type. That's really strong. Let's see, Scythe Claw. It's a living weapon version of Quietus Spike. Okay. Minus the Death Touch. Dimir Keyrune. Key runes, Dimir Locket. Locket, Signet. Nice. Heirloom Blade. Whenever a equipped creature dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card that shares a type with it. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay. Good old Mind Stone. Soul Ring, core commander cards. Command Tower, Dimir Aqueduct, Dimir Guildgate, Dismal Backwater, Jor Isle Refuge, which is a functional copy of Dismal Blackwater, or Dismal Backwater, which I did not realize was even a thing. I wonder if that's only ever been printed in uncommon, because if that's been printed in common, that's really useful. Myriad Landscape, Rogue's Passage, Submerged Boneyard, all pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. Merfolk Windrobber, great card from Zendikar Rising that can mill your opponents, but also draws you a card later on. Sure-footed Infiltrator, also from Zendikar Rising. Soaring Thought Thief, one of the big cards from Zendikar Rising, and then some really cool islands. The Whirlpool Islands. A whole bunch of them. And then the Shatter Swamps. A bunch of those. And some double-sided tokens. Let's see, Fairy Rogue tokens. Those go along with Bitter Blossom. Nice. Enthopters, some Goblin Rogues that are also Fairy Rogues. Some Rat tokens. Germ token for our living weapons. Let's see what the backs of these are. Oh, these are all Fairy Rogues. Oh, that's awesome. So, I know it's a little weird that I'm excited about these. But Fairy Rogue tokens, Black Fairy Rogue tokens are a giant pain to find. And I play Bitter Blossom in a couple of different decks, and I never have them when I need them. So now I have a whole bunch of Fairy Rogues. So that's really cool. Well, all in all, neat little deck. Would have been nice if it had Bitter Blossom or something along those lines in it. I can see why this didn't sell well. Like, the only real thing that you would probably be searching for out of this would be like Notion Thief or Zulaport Cutthroats. And neither of those are super expensive right now. Like, probably the total value of and Distant Melodies. Like, Distant Melodies are like $4. So I could see that. but or at least they were the last time I looked at them, which admittedly has been a while. So I could see why these didn't sell well and why they're trying to offload them. So that's a whole thing. That and blue black, for whatever reason, I've noticed over the years just doesn't sell well. So then we've got Lothril and Runar. Let's see what we have for Lothril. I'm going to take a sip of my drink real quick, though. All right. Also, this is before they switched over to their fully recyclable packaging. And I have to say, I prefer the newer packaging because it's much easier to open and much more environmentally conscious. So, thinking these older style ones, it's just kind of meh. It's like, oh yeah, we used to have to deal with this. Forgot about that. Thanks, I hate it. But you know, the value of the boxes are, you know, much more in the playmat, which you can only get from this or going to Philly, you know, MagicCon Philly. And they're already reselling for dumb amounts. Or, you know, you've got the deck boxes, which are also reselling for dumb amounts because people love these things for Commander. And the convention booster box, which that is about what the cost of the whole box was. So everything's basically free with the buying of a convention edition box. So, why not? I think the biggest issue is that they restrict you to only getting 3, and I want 4 for my personal collection. Like ideally, I would get 5, so I could keep one sealed for later. But whatever. But these do come with a nicer deck box than the new stuff. Like this is Elven Empire. I remember this deck actually being pretty okay from like other people playing it. Nice green deck box, nice green life counter to go with it. You know, got your little commander blurb insert. It tells you about Lothril, the blade, and all that stuff. And also telling us about set boosters. So, it's a whole thing. Let's see what Lothril the Blade, or Blade of the Elves, actually does. So for 4 mana, you get a... Let's see, for 4 mana, you get a 2/3 menace. When it deals combat to a player, create that many elf creature token. Whoa, okay. And then tap 10 untapped elves you control and tap her. Each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. That is kind of nuts for an elf commander. So that's cool. All right, let's see what's in here. It's just 25 Land of War elves and some black spells and a bunch of forests. Let's see, we've got Ambition's Cost. You draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. You know, for 4 mana, kind of meh rate, especially in black. I Blight Colors. So when it dies, you create 3 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens, and then mill 3 cards. Okay. I Blight Massacre. Each non-elf creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Now, this was originally printed as a common, if I remember correctly, and does see play in Pauper, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Lissalana Scarblade. Discard an elf card. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of elves you control. Very cool. Miara Thorn of the Glade. Got a legendary elf scout for 2 mana. Let's see. Whenever this or another elf you control dies, you can pay 1 and a life. If you do, draw a card. It has partner. Well, that's cool. So that can actually be your commander. We have Pride of the Perfect. It's an enchantment that gives your elves +2/+0. Prowess of the Fair. It's a tribal enchantment for elves. Whenever another non-token elf is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. That's pretty cool. Little Elvish Mystic. Elven Promenade. So you create a 1/1 elf warrior creature token for each elf you control. Elvish Rejuvenator, a little bit of ramp. Farhaven Elf, more ramp. Jagged Scar Archers. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of elves you control, and then it can shoot down creatures with flying. Llanowar Tribe, another Mana Dork. Lissalana Huntmaster. Whenever you cast an elf creature, you create another elf. Very powerful. Nullmage Shepherd. Tap 4 and tap creatures you control for target artifact or enchantment. That's pretty nice, especially with how many elves you're pumping out. Let's see. Numa Jaraga Chieftain. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay XX. When you do, distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of target elves, and it has partner. So this partner is with the other one. Good old Rex Sage. Good enough to see play in Legacy. Springbloom Druid. Let's see. Is this Harrow on a creature? Sylvan Messenger. It's one of the war chiefs, or not war chiefs. Ringleader cards. Does the same thing as Goblin Ringleader, but for elves. Timberwatch Elf. Lets you pump your elves. Or pump an elf equal to the number of elves you have. Voice of Many. Let's see. Draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you, which will be most. Good old Wirewood Channeler. Makes tons of mana. Good way to go infinite with Freed from the Real. Wood Elves. Of course, good old Ramp. Abomination of Llanowar. Vigilance. So for 3 mana, you get an Elf Horror, Vigilance, Menace. Power and toughness are equal to the number of elves you control plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. Oh, okay. Golgari Finebroker. Got to get back permanents. Moldervine Reclamation. Whenever a creature you control dies, gain a life, draw a card. Poison Tip Archer. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So that's a good way to drain out your opponents. Go Putrefy. Shaman of the Pack. Okay. Okay. Drain people out. Pact of the Serpent. Choose a creature type. Target player draws X card and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type. So that's a good way to draw a bunch in this. Ruthless Winnower. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-elf creature. Well, considering that almost all of your creatures are going to be elves, that's pretty cool. Let's see, Serpent's Soul Jar. Whenever an elf you control dies, exile it. Pay 2 life and tap it until end of turn. You may cast creature spell from among cards exiled with Serpent's Soul Jar. Okay. That's pretty cool. Bounty of Skimfar. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped, and an elf card from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is just kind of meh. Canopy Tactician. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Tap, add 3 green. Nice. So combination Lord and oh, it's just in Kaldheim. Okay. Yeah, combination Lord and mana ramp. Crown of Skimfar. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each elf you control and has reach, and you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. So, brings itself back. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Whenever another elf you control enters, another elf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. Okay, so gains you life every turn. Elderfang Venom. Attacking elves you control have Death Touch. Wow, okay. Whenever an elf you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's obnoxious. And I kind of love it. Beast Whisperer. Okay, I mean, this card's like several dollars on its own. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Cultivator of Blades. This was from Kaladesh, I think. Fabricate 2. When it attacks, you may have other attacking creatures get +X/+X till end of turn, where X is its power. Dwenin Glitleaf Dan? Or Dane? Reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. It's very powerful. We have Elvish Archdruid. Okay, like, why didn't these sell? It has Elvish Archdruid in it. Like, this is used in Modern Elves. It's used in Legacy Elves. It's used all over the place. Like, this is a very good card. End-Raise Forerunners. Okay, like, it's a fantastic finisher. Not quite as good as what's it called? Craterhoof Behemoth, but it's still fantastic. Harvest Season, search your library for up to X basic lands, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control, and put those cards onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Wow, that could be huge ramp. Imperious Perfect. You know, Elf Lord that gives you more, that you can tap to create more elves. Marwyn the Nurturer. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then tap, add an amount of mana equal to its power. Like, that's very powerful. Masked Admirers. Like, she gets huge fast. I don't. Yeah. Masked Admirers. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay 2. If you do, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it just keeps coming back. Risk the Exiled. Whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control, and then you can pay a black and sacrifice an elf to regenerate it. Okay. Voice of the Woods. Tap 5 untapped elves you control. Create a 7/7 elemental. We have Casualties of War, which is just great and does a ton of stuff. Twin Blade Assassins. Beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you draw a card. We've got some core commander stuff with Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Command Tower. We got Foul Orchard, Golgari Guildgate, Rot Farm, Jungle Hollow. All great. Arid Landscape, Path of Ancestry, a whole bunch of swamps. A really nice swamp with like this neat tree in it. Then a bunch of forests. Oh, then there's even more stuff. We've got Elderfang Ritualist. When it dies, return another elf card from your graveyard to your hand. Poison the Cup, which is the Foretell kill spell. It's very strong. Turn upon the tide. It's the Foretell Reanimate. That also creates, if you reanimate an elf, it creates 2 more elves. Great. Skimfar Shadow Sage, which is the other thing that, just like the other thing that drains for you. Tegrid Shadow, good sack thing to make each player sack at instant speed. Elven Ambush, this just doubles the number of elves you have. And Jasper Sentinel for ramp, Roots of Wisdom, Mill 3 cards and return a land or elf card from your graveyard to your hand. If you can't, draw a card. So just good. Binding of the Old Gods. I see. I didn't even know all this was in here. Like these are great cards from Kaldheim. Binding of the Old Gods. Destroy target non-land permanent. An opponent controls. Search your library for a forest and put it on the battlefield tap. Then shuffle your library. Creatures you control gain Death Touch. And then we've got Rald, King of Skemfar. Yeah, when he comes into play, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can put a Elf, Warrior, or Tyvar card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. And then we've got Skemfar Elder Hall, just fantastic in draft. We got a bunch of tokens. And we've got 4 servos. We've got 5 elementals that are 7/7s of trample, and I bet the back is all warriors. Yep. Green elf warriors. See, that's a good precon. I don't know why they would have a bunch of these sitting around, because like that's just a good precon. It's got friggin' Elvish Archdruid in it. Like it has Elvish Archdruid in it. That's all you would have to tell me. It's got Elvish Archdruid. It's got a couple of other good stuff. And yeah, it's got some good stuff in it. There's like 9 cards in there at least that are just core elf cards. I mean, unless elves have fallen off that much across the board, like you've got, if you buy 4 of those, you've got half of modern elves right there, and you've got a lot of pauper elves and legacy elves. So I don't know. Maybe those decks have shifted more than I think they have, but I don't think they have. Like Allosaurus Shepherd into that, you've got a pretty reasonable elf deck. Like I could reasonably see swapping out less than 10 cards and that being a competitive EDH deck. So, and the last one we have is Renar the Everwatchful. First card you foretell each turn costs 0 to foretell. That's cool. Whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your hand or permanents from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. That's really strong. It's a pretty good commander. Like, I wonder if there's a repeatable exile that just requires either sacking a creature or tapping creatures in blue-white. I would not be surprised if there was. This one has a nice blue one. Blue. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but like that seems like a really powerful commander. Seems like a really powerful commander. Alright, so we got Renar. Already got a Banishing Light on the front, so we know it's going to be good. Banishing Light was a good card. It's the fixed version of O-Ring. Then we've got Cloud Goat Ranger. When it enters the battlefield, you create 3 1/1 white Kithkin creature tokens, tap 3 Kithkin, it gets +2/+7 flying, Evangel of Heliod. When it comes into play, create a number of 1/1 soldier tokens equal to your devotion in white. That's pretty strong. Flicker Wisp. See, that's Ghostly Prison. Like, these are good cards. Golden Knight Commander. Core Cartographer. Which ramps you. Momentary Blink. Oh, okay. So, like, come on. Return to Dust. Yeah. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast it during your main phase, you can exile up to one other artifact or enchantment. Wall of Omens. Ghostly Flicker. Like, that's a huge thing in Pauper. Mist Raven, Muldra. You've got half of the Pauper Blink deck in here already. Like, Seagate Oracle is used. Whirler Rogue. It's great. Got a Windfall in here? Windfall used to be like $30. Is it banned or something? Like, why wouldn't people want this? Cloud Blazer, Empyrean Eagle. Okay, good. Migratory Route. Make some birds, do some basic land cycling. Mist Meadow Witch. Okay, that's just a great control card. Soul Herder. I mean, yeah, it's an uncommon, but like this whole deck built around it. Then you've got your commander staple stuff. You have Burnished Heart, Commander Sphere, Marvel Diamond, Great Blink Target with Meteor Golem, Mind Stone. It's just core commander stuff at this point. Cosmic Intervention. If a permanent you control would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, exile instead, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. That's really good. So that just blanks most sweepers. Hero of Predagard. Whenever you exile one or more cards from your hand and or permanents from the battlefield, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. As long as it has 5 or more counters on it, it has flying and it's an angel in addition to its other types. As long as it's 10 or more, it is indestructible and is a god in addition to other types. That's pretty crazy. Stoic Farmer. Search your library for basic planes and reveal it. If an opponent controls more lands than you, put it onto the battlefield tapped, otherwise put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. That's pretty good. It has Foretell for 2. It's not bad. Sage of the Beyond. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 2 less to cast. Okay. It works with Foretell. Spectral Deluge. Foretells for 3. Return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less to its owner's hand, where X is the number of islands you control. Okay. Surtland Elementalist. As an additional cost to cast this, reveal a giant from your hand or pay 2. Whenever it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. Okay. It's pretty awesome, actually. Tales of the Ancestor. Each player with fewer cards in hand than the player with the most cards in hand draws cards equal to the difference. Foretell for 2. Wow. Ethereal Valkyrie. 6 mana. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand face down. Becomes Foretold. Its Foretell cost is its mana cost reduced by 2. That's cool. Angel of Finality. When it is the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. It'd be nice if that had flash. Angel of Serenity. This card used to be like $30. And completely broke standard when it was in. Cleansing Nova, destroy all creatures or destroy artifacts and enchantments. Eerie Interlude, great way to save your creatures. Geist Honored Monk. Well, that was busted when I was in standard. Marshall's Anthem. Let's see. It's an anthem that you can use to reanimate your creatures. That's really strong. Resto Angel. They did a whole new art for Resto Angel. Soul Herd. This card used to be... I think this card used to be banned in Command. Sun Titan. Like, there's some great cards in here. Heck. Arcane Artisan. Regular player draws a card, then exiles a card from their hand. The creature is exiled this way. That player creates a token that's a copy of that card. When it leaves the battlefield, exile all tokens created with it at the beginning of the next end step. That is bonkers. That lets you cheat huge creatures into play. Wow. Curse of Swine, exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller creates a 2/2 boar. It's good removal. Day of Dragons. Exile all creatures you control, then create that many 5/5 red dragon creature tokens with flying. When it leaves play, sacrifice all dragons you control, then return the exiled cards to the battlefield under your control. See, that with everything else is just huge loop potential. Let's see. When Inspired Sphinx enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to the number of opponents you have, and then it just lets you create tokens. Okay. Exile all creatures you control. At the beginning of the next end step, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal that many creature cards. Put all creatures revealed this way onto the battlefield, then shuffle the rest of the revealed cards into your library? What? So, say you make a bunch of tokens. Like 4 or 5 tokens. And you cast this in your opponent's end step just before your turn. And you flip over all kinds of stuff. Like, that can get crazy really fast. Let's see, Brago, King Eternal. Like, this is good enough that it's on the list. It deals combat to a player, exile any number of target non-land permanents you control, then return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. Like, it lets you blink all kinds of stuff that does crazy things. We've got some Commander Core stuff, like just staples for blue-white. Got some of the lands. Opal Palace. Yeah, like Refuge, Cove, some really nice plains. Gorgeous islands. Like just the boreal islands there are just very pretty. Yeah, then we have Iron Verdict. Yeah, Retell, deal 5 to target tap creature. Warhorn Blast, buff your stuff. Behold the Multiverse, like that's still played in a bunch of stuff. Raven Form, it's unconditional removal for artifacts or creatures for blue. Saw it coming, great. Counter spell in blue. Nico Defies Destiny, which lets you gain life for your foretold stuff. Vega, which lets your foretold stuff work better. Replicating Ring. This was a great way to just build up a huge number of mana rocks. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on it. If it has 8 or more night counters on it, remove them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens with the same name. Then like you can manipulate that with proliferate effects and just keep getting more and more things. So got Glacial Floodplain, Gates of Istfell, a whole bunch of really nice tokens. Okay. And more tokens on the back. Like, it's replicating ring. That's pretty cool. But yeah, like, there's some good stuff. There's a windfall in here. Oh, yeah. No, it's all cool, man. Sorry, I don't know how long you've been in here. I have not looked at chat. Oh, okay, so you just sent that. Cool. Yeah, because college exams this weekend, putting together the mock field for sure. Yeah, dude, don't worry about it. No rush. You know, I've had a ton of stuff going on too. I haven't seen any emails come through from anyone, to be honest. So we've all been. It's that time of year. Like finals are starting to come up for people. Like, although generally those are a little later, but tons of stuff going on. I just opened up 3 commander decks that I got from the Magicon Philly, as you can see from the playmat bundles that I got. So we also got. So we ended up with. I bought 3 bundles. So I got 3 of these playmats. One of the playmats is actually misprinted, which makes me all kinds of happy. Like I don't know if you can see it, but it's got double printing. The reflection's kind of messing it up, but it's got double printing on all the words. What's funny is my light actually blanks for some reason blanks out the double printing because of the reflection. Here, if I put shadow over it, where am I? There you go. You can see it there. You can see how it's ghosted on there. So that's cool. And these playmats are just getting kind of dumb online for how much people want for them. Which also means I got 3 mystery booster boxes of Convention Edition. So we will probably open some of these either on stream. I think I'm going to open these on stream. I don't know if I want to do something else with them or not. So, but yeah, take your time. Don't worry about it. Like we can do a whole deck doctor kind of stream thing at some point for it, but no rush. So yeah, we got those. Ended up with 6 6 commander decks that I guess they just couldn't sell from Kaldheim and Zendikar Rising, which I'm a little bit surprised because the stuff that's in them is actually pretty good. Like there were Windfalls and like Elvish Archdruids, and I don't think any of them had didn't have something good in them. Um, and I think those were like the $20 commander decks instead of like the $50 commander decks. So you didn't have to get a ton of value for them. And then also we got these really cool deck boxes in the thing. So, and from what I've seen on Twitter and a few other places, people are just going nutso over these. They got like Phyrexian on the back, and they come with sleeves. So I'm still figuring out the logistics of it, but I'll probably give one of those away during the 1,000 subscribers stream when we hit that. So yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting day. My MagicCon Philly stuff came like a month after MagicCon Philly. You know, which seems kind of dumb. You'd think they would want to get those out to people the same time as MagicCon Philly. But yeah, people are weird. Oh, we're all weird, I guess. And we got the Look at the Kitties and the special version of Arcane Signet. Uh, and there's the bummer thing of we're restricted only 3 of them. So that's the whole thing. I don't understand why they restricted it to 3. Like, 4? Sure. But 3? See, it's like, so you're telling me I can get them, but if I want a playset of them, I have to buy them on the secondary market. Why can't I just buy a playset? So it's a whole thing. Wow, we've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes already. It does not feel like that. Yeah, that's what's going on. That and previewed some of the new shorts that are coming up. Um, that was what was on the desk when, or on the table when I started the stream. But funny thing is the giant box that everything arrived in. There were 4 boxes and one of them was labeled empty. So like even their shipping fulfillment kind of assumes that you should be able to do 4 boxes. It's like, what the heck? Because it's not like they don't control how many of these things they make. Like they can just choose to sell more of them and make more of them. Oh no, we're selling one more of them than we were going, than we did before. It's like, come on, people. Yeah. So I don't know how many people we have in chat right now. But had an idea and I lost it. Is there a good way to see how many people are in chat? Can I even do that? I thought there was a way to do that. Oh, no. Bad computer. Coding overloaded. Consider changing your video settings. Oh boy. I mean, like realistically, I need to switch over to the other computer. But I haven't yet. I'm being lazy. Alright. I have gone through all the commander decks. Showed off the playmats. Show off the decks. Or the deck boxes. Don't really feel like opening a box right now. And chat is kind of dead. And it's Friday. So, do I want to build a deck on stream? Or not? I have shorts to record, and I can't do that while I'm streaming. All right, I think we're going to call it at this. Sam, when you get a chance to send that over, we will discuss your deck, see if we can figure out some improvements for it, and then do a whole deck doctor live stream. May even see if I can patch you in so we can discuss it live. Whatever you're comfortable with. But I have some things I need to do, and we've been streaming for over an hour, so I'm just gonna call it a day. And this is gonna be the new. I think this is gonna be the new stream mat for a few days, because I like this mat. This is cool. I like it. So I'm not normally big on Phyrexian stuff, but this just looks cool. A little worried that it's gonna get dirty, because it is like cream colored, but yeah. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for joining the adventure. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay awesome. And yeah, bye.